interviewed Dawn French earlier this year, and I wonder, should I have her sitting here instead of you to talk about this book?
Well, she's probably got a better idea of what actually happened in our lives together, our career. So yes, possibly. I do reference her book in the thing, saying if you're really looking for proper detail about it, then read Dear Fatty.
It seems strange to write an autobiography for you because you've done such a good job at staying private. And I mean, there's a lovely bit when your daughter asks you, "Are you Jennifer Saunders?"
Yeah.
It is absolutely hilarious. Why did you decide to do it? I know you say Clare Balding, but
I think I decided to do it because this other book had been out about me, which was an unauthorised one, which actually was jolly sweet. I mean, I have to say, I slagged it off mercilessly, but hadn't read it. And then I read it, sort of skimmed through it and thought, oh, she's been terribly nice. And she's got all the facts right. It's chronologically very useful for me. And then, do you know it was something about reading Clare Balding's book and thinking, look, I've got lots of stories I want to tell that I'll never put in a film or that I'll never, write as a script. And what Clare Balding did was make little incidents and stories about her life with her voice that were amusing and self-contained. And I thought, oh, that's a kind of nice way to do stuff. You don't have to write your life, or you don't have to give too much away. I think that was the thing that I liked about Clare's book, is that it's she doesn't really give anything away.
You almost treat each chapter as a sketch.
Yes.
And then take that to go anywhere you like with, rather than do it chronologically.
Yeah, because
So
I started doing it chronologically, and I found it incredibly dull. It was so hard to write it because I was writing it like books I had read. Do you know what I mean? And that's not how I write. And it's one of the reasons that I haven't written a book before. It's because I've always felt that I can't do commas, I can't do full stops, I can't do grammar. I don't understand how it all works, but I can do just dialogue, and I can do comedy writing. I find that easy, because you can sort of do away with the rules and pretend it's on purpose. And so I started to think the only way for me to do it would be to write each chapter as if it's a TV show, as if it's like a 30-minute comedy show. So you start with a theme, and then you have flashbacks and flash forwards, and also it helps because a lot of the stories that happen in your life, a lot of the things that happen are just incidents. They're not fully rounded stories. So it's just a matter of sort of peppering them in for amusement. I got myself interviewed for 2 weeks solidly before I started writing, because someone looking at it objectively could then say, okay, remember that thing, and from that thing you remember that thing and that thing, and also you make it into a story because you're talking to someone, so you're trying to entertain them and not sound writerly.
I found admirable is your admissions of your terrible guilt of procrastination.
Yes.
That comes out. How's that been, putting this together?
Well, do you know, I always knew I was a procrastinator, but until I started writing the book, I hadn't realised how actually I'm almost criminal procrastinator. I think I have excuses all the time not to work, and I lie to people about scripts that I haven't written. Lie to them.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Goldie Hawn thing is...
Was
that wonderful to get off your chest?
Well, no, because I started writing it thinking, there's a funny story about Goldie Hawn, and we want to write a script for her. What a fool she was that she didn't manage to get the script out of us. And of course, once I started writing it, it just flipped on its head, and I started reading the faxes that she'd sent to us and I'd sent back, and almost died. Then I sent it to Goldie, and I said, look, here's the faxes, can I use them? And she says, it's fine, you're the butt of the joke.
You have a couple of rants in there that are self-proclaimed rants and say...
Well, they're not really, they're sort of Adina rants. The truth is, when I was really nervous of writing the book, I thought, well, I could do it half as Adina and half as me, because I thought then I'd have to do less. Because I really miss Adina for the fact that she allows me to say really outrageous things. Whatever you want to say, she can say it. But as I started writing the book, I enjoyed it more and more. I thought, well, I'm just going to bloody say it. And yeah, they're just funny things. They're just, people like that kind of thing, and it's sort of my voice as well.
But there is one that seems quite heartfelt about the state of comedy at the BBC and how it works. And I wonder...
I've been having that rant for the last 10 years, and only now have people started to listen to me, and that is the truth. And reading the book would go, oh, that old rant again.
Well, now it's in print and it's in bookshops.
I know,
it's official.
Yeah.
But would you have wanted to make it? Not would you have made it? Would you have wanted to make it if you've been doing it now? Do you think?
I'm sure. I can still see it. My daughter's a comedian, and I can still see that love of it and that hunger and that desire. It's just a different system, and it's not a helpful system for them. And I think that's my main moan, is that it's not helping the people who are the talent. It's too prescriptive, I think. That's the thing.
Dawn's obviously written fiction as well. Has this process...
How dare you call her autobiography fiction?
Well, but has this process made any difference to how you thought about actually writing a novel?
Well, do you know, in that I've done that many words on a computer impresses me. You know what I mean? You think, whew, look at that. Because they got me to do something like 90,000 words or something. And I thought, God, I couldn't imagine writing that many words. So now I have. I think, oh yeah, I could think about it, but I don't think I'll write a novel. Because I only like murders, and there's some really good novelists out there that write great murders. So
you do say that murders that you like the odd murder.
I love a murder.
But confess to not being a big reader otherwise.
No,
so who
I'm
do
not.
you read when you sit down and read a
murder? I read. Well, I've read all of Patricia Cornwell, all of P.D. James, Ruth Brendel. I'm now reading Nikki French, who I find really interesting. Who else do I read? I do read. Do you know I do read some biographies. I don't just look at the pictures. I do actually read occasionally, but I'm not an avid reader. Do you know where I like reading most? In a bookshop, and that is the truth, because you're surrounded by books, and you think, oh, I'll just pick that up, and you start flicking through. There's something rather lovely about reading in a bookshop.
You've had a pretty lovely life.
I've had a
terrific,
extraordinary life.
And you say that you're very lucky.
Yeah.
What could you say has been the biggest stroke of luck in your life?
I think the biggest stroke of luck, there's two, and it comes in two ways. One huge stroke of luck was that I actually got into that college and met Dawn French, which then led us to the comic strip, and then to my husband. So in a way, it's kind of two lucky things. Yeah.
A cumulative.
Yeah, a cumulative luck.